Hairdressers of Reddit, what are some helpful and unhelpful things that clients do when they come in for a haircut? Do hairdressers get mad when you just say do whatever you think looks good? I love it when people say do whatever you want. It's my job then to ask questions and see what style and color would work for your lifestyle. I give people what I think they will maintain as well as something flattering. One time I said that and the stylist wanted to give me a green pixie that would style into a faux hawk. Loved the creative energy she was bringing, but it was a big fat no-go. You gotta propose something like that to see if the client means it when they say go ham. Deep inside, I would have loved it, but I was an awkward 17-year-old with few friends, so it was too much for me, haha. I'm sure you would have rocked that shoot. My friend is a hairdresser and her biggest complaint is unrealistic expectations. People want to go from dark brown to platinum in one session, bright pink hair that never fades, amazing rainbow hair from a heavily filtered photo on Instagram. It's mostly about expectations, e.g. if you want blue hair then expect bleach damage and split ends. Be prepared to spend money on color-safe shampoo, conditioner, hair treatments, maintain it regularly, change your pillowcases, etc. Don't blame your hairdresser if you go swimming 4 hours and your hair turns green. A little off topic, but my hair turned green every summer when I was a kid. I was naturally very light blonde, and swimming in chlorinated pools always did me in. I gave up swimming when I got to junior high, because I didn't want to have green hair in school. I was a 90s kid and this happened to me too. They had swimmer shampoo that my grandma or mom washed my hair with after swimming. It stopped it turning it green. I heard also getting your hair wet before the pool helps too. I combed conditioner through my hair and put it into a tight braid. It helps prevent damage too. That was my strategy when I had multicolored hair. I worked for a summer camp and helped out with a lot of activities where I ended up in the pool. I'm not a huge fan of swimming, but it was sometimes unavoidable and honestly not always unwelcome in 105 degrees Fahrenheit weather, and doing that seemed to help stop the chlorine from tripping the color too much. Lifting your head in the shampoo bowl. Don't do that. That's how we end up soaking the back of your shirt. Thank you for sharing. I just did this as a client for the first time. I usually go to a full-service barber, shampoo, hot towel, razor shave, and cut. I love the whole experience. So relaxing. In Ovid, after 6 months of no cut, I went to my wife's stylist who is working out of her home's basement now, one client at a time. Rather than just relaxing as I normally do, I was tense and trying to be polite and conscientious. So I kept lifting my head up during the shampoo and she kept politely telling me I didn't need to. She wasn't just being nice. She was trying to tell me that I was making things harder for her. I don't get why people can't just be straightforward. Like just say, hey, lifting your head up makes this harder. Please don't do that and bam, problem fixed. Everyone's happy. I've never had an issue being upfront with people other than some people getting upset because they think I'm being rude. Like no, I just don't like wasting time beating around the bush, which inevitably doesn't get the point across. Coming from a customer service perspective, telling a customer they're doing something wrong, making your life harder can feel rude and awkward even when it isn't. And there are many a-hole customers out there who absolutely will react negatively. I personally love telling customers when they're freaking up or being pains in my ass, but that's because I'm an a-hole. My question for hairdressers: is it appropriate to ask a hairdresser not to style your hair? I hate using heat on mine and being stuck in the salon for another half an hour while they curl, straighten it. I also never like how it looks. How can I ask to skip styling without coming off as rude? Not a hairdresser, but someone who also has a no heat, air dry preference. I don't see this as a rude request, and I've let my last 3 hairdressers know when we're getting started whether I would like it styled or not. I say it factually, like I say how much length I want off, and they've always been understanding. I have some sensory issues, so after sitting in a chair and having my hair and head touched for so long that by the end, I just want out. My stylist never has a problem with it. So I used to cut hair and often we finish with a styling so we can see how it looks once dry and if some corrections need to be done. But I had no issues with clients borrowing my hair dryer if they didn't want to pay for styling. Yeah, I asked my hairdresser not to blow dry my hair last time, because I was paranoid about Ovid and just wanted to get the heck out of there. But he looked appalled and was like, what? No. I have to see the coloring so I can fix it if I need to. I don't know if it's different when there's no hair coloring involved. What I always get grief over is telling the stylist I don't blow dry my hair or use product. I want a cut which will look good natural. Makeup artist here, so not a stylist, but I've worked with scores of them and here's what I've heard. Try to find images of hair similar to yours. If you have super thick curls, a pic of someone with fine straight hair won't do you any good. Similarly, go in with your hair close to your natural texture if you're dealing with a new stylist. Also, if you like a cut on a model, cover her face with your finger and make sure you like the hair and not the face. Mention if something bothers you. I hate blow drying. I need to be able to put it up my forehead. Looks weird. The best stylist I've ever worked with is also super honest with me. I can do something similar, but this exact length will give you fat face. Finally, ask questions. How do I style this? What products should I use? What does the upkeep look like? I'm always so clear about what I want. I literally bring in photos of myself with the cut I want and say, I don't style or use any product. I air dry, and I only brush my bangs. Please make my bangs straight across and not layered. And then they destroy my hair. Love it. Other side here. Hairdressers. What's a polite way to say no small talk? I am an introvert on my lunch break. I want to multitask, get my hair cut and recharge my batteries. I know this doesn't answer your question at all, but I'm an Uber driver with a sign saying I respect your need for silence or conversation. I'll let you lead. And then I don't say anything beyond greetings until they do, signaling that they want to talk. It's gotten me a lot of good reviews and I wish more businesses would do the same. I usually don't like talking while in an Uber car. I just like zoning out and looking out the window. A couple of years ago I needed a 30-minute lift to the airport and my Uber driver was an older guy. He insisted on talking the whole time. I have had drivers do that, but he was really rude about it. He said that he had retired from his job and now drove Uber to meet interesting people and stay social, and that if he had customers who didn't want to talk he'd pull over and drop them off wherever they were. So I then felt pressured to talk the whole time to this braggart, because I didn't want to get dumped halfway to my destination or, more likely, have an awkward write and bad rating. Sounds like my dad. He insists car rides are a social event. He would get mad at us if we didn't have anything to say. He yelled at my sister's ex for not talking enough on an hour-plus trip once. I had an Uber driver complain about people from out of town coming to that city and ruining it for the natives. Guess who was from out of town? Responding for my mother, who is one. Helpful. Have a picture of something like what you want done. Descriptions don't do it justice. Be 100% honest about what you've done to your own hair. Unhelpful. Don't bring filtered pics or ones that are wigs. Just don't have unrealistic expectations. Don't move your head when you're in the chair. Only move when your stylist says so. Stop insisting babies and toddlers have haircut. It's traumatic. Okay, so I'm not crazy. As a teen and college student I would bring in pictures of cuts I liked or find a pic in those books they have at the salon and be like, this is what I want. And I'd always leave with a Dora the Explorer ass haircut. Same. Semicolon. At least for me. It generally happened because no one understood how to deal with curly hair. Like, underscore. As a dude with curly hair it legit doesn't matter where I go or what I ask for. I end up with the same haircut every time. I ask them to leave it long. They cut a little bit off and I'm like, yeah, that's good. Then they finish, just got to clean up the sides and they just cut it all off. The worst. This is why I started cutting my hair at home. At least if it's gonna get fricked up, it'll be by my hands. I hope one day you can find, or become, a good stylist. I understand that, being a hairstylist, you have to cut in certain areas of a curl. It's different than straight hair. I'm not a hairdresser, but I was told by one that if you have thicker hair, like I do, if you shower prior to getting your hair cut, hygiene aside, it makes it easier and cleaner to do. Came here to ask, is it better to come in with clean hair or is the old hair with natural oil is better? Most places I've gone will wash your hair first. As long as yours is clean enough, their products will finish the job. Don't go in with gross hair and you're probably fine. I always wash and condition right before going, because I can't use their hair washing sinks. They hurt my neck. I have disc damage. If I can show up with still damp hair then their job gets a bit easier. Same. It was so comfy and relaxing until I herniated those discs. I got them fixed, but I still can't use the sinks because of the hardware. If you're getting it dyed, day old is better. For just the cut, it should be clean if they're not going to wash it. My stylist will just spray it and do a dry cut if I washed it that day and it's already dry. I got my hair cut yesterday and showered right before I went in, so it was still damp when I got there. Off topic, but maybe someone can help me. My hair is wavy. It has waves at home. I bring in photos that have a similar texture to what my hair does when it air dries. And then every single time, the hairdresser will straighten my hair with a blow dryer and brush and say your hair doesn't look very wavy to me. How do I tell them not to do that? You'd be shocked at how just washing your hair can make a huge difference between a good haircut and a great one. Why wash it if they're about to wash it? I've seen others in the thread say the same thing, but with no evidence or explanation. Not all places shampoo your hair when you get a haircut. A lot of places will just do a cut, which is what I do. Don't ask for anime hair. Is manga hair easier?